Okay, today we're going to talk about using the level 1. Level 1 is basically located in trauma. You want to grab your IV tubing, you want to grab your machine, you want to go to your patient. Once you grab your tubing, which is the D100, it looks like your blood tubing. It comes inside of the box, looking just like this. Mind you that all your clamps are clamped up. They're clamped on these. Okay, so once you get in there, I'm going to just start off with one that you already have set up. Okay, so you're going to spike your bag, just like you would spike in your any normal IV fluid bag, your blood, same thing. You basically want to spike it, you run your fluids through. I'm going to grab a bedpan so I don't make a mess on this. Okay, so you run the fluids through. You have the roller clamp here, and you're going to open up, you're going to make sure you open up all your clamps, which is here. See, if you don't open them up, they're not going to run. So you run your fluids through. Once you have your IV fully primed, okay, you want to then shut it off. Okay. This has two components to it, right? You have your warming sleeve, which is fully flexible and bendable. You can't break it. And you have your filter that's built in. You get this here. You see it says level 1. Step 1 is the machine. Step 2 is basically you take this tubing just the way it is. Mind you, you always want to make sure your wire connection is to the top. You want to push it in here. As I can tell you, you cannot break it. This piece has to come down over the top. You put it in. You want to make sure you feed this in. And sometimes you may just have to look under it just to get it into this piece. Just under here. There you go. So now this is totally connected to the machine. You want to take this portion of it. You want to take it to step 3 here. Okay. You want to pull it through here. You want to make sure it's in here. All the way through. And then step 4, which is here, you push it through. Okay? So once you get this in there, and it's proper, and it's not kinked, because if it's kinked, it'll beep. Okay, you want to turn on your machine. You have an on and off switch. Turn your green button. Will turn your level 1 on. This is usually always pre-filled with water. Okay, otherwise it takes sterile water. But it's always pre-filled for us. The other thing is that it'll tell you all your alarms, right? So you have your operating system, add water. It'll tell you if you have to add water, if it's overheating. If it's overheating, obviously you want to get another machine. Okay? Once you have that all set up, you basically want to connect this tubing to your patient. Keep in mind that you want to use an 18 gauge or greater. You want to take the little connector off because otherwise it'll impede the flow of your fluids going through. All right? Once you have that in there, usually try to use a brachial vein or a femoral artery if you have a triple lumen or a quartus, it's better. Mind you, the bigger the lumen, the faster the flow. Once you get in here, you want to hang this in here. You have 2 sets. You have one little clip on the top portion of it. You have one clip on the bottom. This one here is for your liter bags. The one on the bottom is for your 500 or 250, whatever you're running in there, whether it's, you can put blood through it, you can put your IV fluids through it. Actually, you can even get your FFP through that. So once you get in here, if you just ran it like this with the tubing hanging, you would get only the warming aspect of it. You would basically, same way as you would do in IV fluids, you can't hook this up to a machine to get an exact dose, but you would basically run it through here. You would not get the pressure, okay? You would just basically get a regular flow, okay? Once you're in there, you want to close this off and say you want to have pressure. So you're going to basically switch this switch over to positive pressure. It's going to fill up. It's like a blood pressure cuff on the back. It starts filling up. Once it starts filling up, you know, you'll see that your fluid starts running a lot faster. Okay? One thing to keep in mind, you can spike 2 bags and you can put them in, but you don't want to run them simultaneously because if it ever runs out, it's going to basically backflow into it and you kind of defeated your purpose.
Okay. Can the vessel burst because of so much volume being infused simultaneously?
Usually your vessel will tolerate for most part, but it can burst.
Okay. Are we using the headlock connection or are we connecting the connection
direct connector. You take off that small little lock that I told you about before.
So if we give blood, can we give 2 blood simultaneously?
No, because you have to be able to monitor for reaction.
Okay, do you need an order for this?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And what else should be checking?
You want to check the temperature as well. Mind you, this is also heating the patient, so. But this works great when you're giving large volumes of fluid. It warms them up as well.
Okay. So even if I just want to warm up the patient, I can just use it without the pressure.
You can use it without pressure, but you shouldn't be using it just to warm the patient. Use a bear hugger for that.
Okay.
Now, if you want to give large volumes of fluid and you don't want this patient to go hypothermic, then you do use it as a warming component. And that is pretty much the basic in-service on your level 1.
Thank you.